Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, August 16th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's Major League Baseball, NFL preseason, NBA Summer League, WNBA, and Major League Soccer games. Look ahead to everything going on tonight in those respective sports. Golf, we will go over the results from the Wyndham. NASCAR, we will look back on the weekend's results from Indy, news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start with Major League Baseball, over the games from the weekend, and we will look ahead to tonight. So without further ado, here we go. Friday. Braves over the Nationals 4-2. Reds over the Phillies 6-1. Red Sox over the Orioles 8-1. Marlins over the Cubs 14-10. Indians over the Tigers 7-4. Dodgers over the Mets 6-5 and 10. Rangers over the A's 8-6. Cardinals over the Royals 6-0. Rays over the Twins 10-4. Astros over the Angels 4-1. D-backs over the Padres 3-2. Giants over the Rockies 5-4. Mariners over the Blue Jays 3-2. Brewers Pirates postponed. Makeup date was Saturday. Doubleheader game 1. Pirates over the Brewers 14-4 and 7. Phillies over the Reds 6-1. Red Sox over the Orioles 16-2. Braves over the Nationals 12-2. Marlins over the Cubs 5-4. Tigers over the Indians 6-4. Brewers over the Pirates 6-0 and 7. A's over the Rangers 8-3. Dodgers over the Mets 2-1 and 10. Yankees over the White Sox 7-5 and 10. Cardinals over the Royals 9-4. Twins over the Rays 12-0. D-backs over the Padres 7-0. Rockies over the Giants 4-1. Astros over the Angels 8-2. Mariners over the Blue Jays 9-3. Alright, and then Sunday. Braves over the Nationals 6-5. The Braves 62 and 56. Washington 50 and 68. Reds over the Phillies 7-4. The Reds 64 and 55. Philly 61 and 57. Brewers over the Pirates 2-1. The Brewers are 72 and 47. Pittsburgh 42 and 76. Red Sox over the Orioles 6-2. Red Sox 69 and 51. Orioles 38 and 78. That is 11 straight losses. Marlins over the Cubs 4-1. The Marlins 51 and 67. The Cubs 52 and 68. And that's their 11th straight loss. I don't remember the last time the same team had two double-digit game losing streaks in the season. The Cubs, it's their second 11-game losing streak of the year. But this one's more predictable because it was post-trades. Indians over the Tigers 11-0. Indians 57 and 59. Detroit 58 and 62. Tristan McKenzie had a perfect game all the way into the 8th inning, which is insane. Yankees over the White Sox 5-3. The Yankees are 65 and 52. Chicago 68 and 50. Cardinals over the Royals 7-2. The Cardinals 61 and 56. KC 49 and 67. Twins over the Rays 5-4. The Twins 52 and 66. The Rays 71 and 47. Rangers over the A's 7-4. The Rangers 42 and 76. Oakland 68 and 50. Giants over the Rockies 5-2. The Giants 76 and 42. Colorado 52 and 66. Angels over the Astros 2-1. The Angels 59 and 60. Houston 70 and 47. Padres over the Diamondbacks 8-2. The Padres 67 and 53. Arizona 38 and 81. Blue Jays over the Mariners 8-3. The Blue Jays are 63 and 54. Seattle 63 and 56. Dodgers over the Mets 14-4 in Sunday Night Baseball. Dodgers 72 and 46. The Mets are 59 and 58. All right, looking ahead to today's games. 7 o'clock makeup game from July 1st. It was a rainout. Angels, Yankees, Jose Suarez, and Garrett Cole. So Garrett Cole is back off the COVID list and ready to go. Yankees are minus 270. The Angels are plus 220. Over-under is 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Angels plus 1.5 is plus 105. Yankees minus 1.5 is minus 126. Going over 8.5 minus 115. I think there's a chance Cole's a little bit rusty early on. And I don't love Jose Suarez, even though he's put up some good numbers this year. And I think that the Yankees could expose him. So I'm going to go over 8.5 at minus 115. 7:10, like the 7 o'clock games continue. Braves Marlins, Tukey Toussaint, and excuse me, Braxton Garrett. Atlanta minus 162, Miami plus 136, over under 8.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120, Braves plus or minus 1.5 is plus 108, Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 130. Tough one. Very tough. I think I'm going to take another over 8.5 this time at minus 102. Orioles Rays, Matt Harvey and Colin McHugh. Rays minus 275, Orioles plus 225, over under 8.5. Overs minus 118, unders minus 102. Orioles plus 1.5 is plus 116. Rays minus 1.5 is minus 140. I'm going to go over again, minus 118. Over 8.5, minus 118. Cubs Reds, Justin Steele and Wade Miley. So the Cubs trying to snap their 11-game losing streak. Reds minus 215, Cubs plus 180, over under 9.5. Overs minus 112, unders minus 110. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 108. Reds minus 1.5 is minus 111. I'm going Reds run line. I just think that the Cubs have just given up. I don't even know if David Ross is still going to be their manager. So I'm going to go minus 1.5, minus 111. 8 o'clock, ESPN, the A's White Sox. So a playoff preview perhaps. Frankie Montas and Dallas Keuchel. The White Sox and the A's are each minus 108. Over under 9, overs minus 109, unders minus 112. Oakland minus 1.5 is plus 146. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 176. I'm going to go with the A's. I just don't like what I've seen from the White Sox of late. So I'm going to go Athletics minus 108 against the White Sox. Indians Twins, Cal Quantrill and Griffin Jacks. The Indians are actually a dog. They're plus 120. The Twins are minus 130. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Indians plus 1.5 is minus 194. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 160. I'm going Indians. It's a road dog here. They should be favored. I'm very surprised that they're the dog here. That is insane. Astros Royals, Jake Odorizzi and Carlos Hernandez. Astros minus 154, Royals plus 130, over under 10, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Astros minus 1.5 is even money. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 120. I'm going to go over 10, minus 105. The Royals have been feisty of late in trying to make things interesting against good teams. We saw it with the Yankees. I think we could see it here with the Astros. So over 10.5, minus 105. 8:30, Padres Rockies, Ryan Weathers and Antonio Senzatella. Padres minus 130, Rockies plus 110, over under 12.5. Overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 105. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 176. I'm going under 12.5, minus 104. That is way too high. Way too high. 9:45, Mets Giants, Rich Hill and Kevin Gausman. Giants minus 220, Mets plus 184, over under 10.5, minus 110 each way. And the run lines are minus 110 each way as well. I'm going to go, tough one. The Mets have really just been a mess lately. And I think they're going to end up under 500 in a week from now. So I'll go Giants run line, minus 1.5, minus 110. And then last but not least, 10 o'clock, the Pirates and the Dodgers. Stephen Broughton, we don't know, is going for the Dodgers. Dodgers run line's probably the pick. But if the total is anything less than 9, I'll consider the over. Okay. The NFL preseason, we will go over the results from the weekend and go over some notable statistics from notable players. Friday, Titans over the Falcons 23-3. Logan Woodside, 10 of 15, 81 yards and a touchdown. And Matt Barkley, 5 of 8, 54 yards and a touchdown. A.J. McCarron, 5 of 12, 36 yards and a pick. And Felipe Franks, 2 of 9 for 16 yards. Bills over the Lions, 16-15. Davis Webb, 11 of 16, 90 yards and a touchdown. Jake Fromm, 8 of 13, 65 yards. Mitch Trubisky, 1 of 2, 10 yards. Lions, David Blau, 5 of 6, 76 yards. Jared Goff, 7 of 9, 56 yards. And Tim Boyle, 8 of 15, 38 yards. Cardinals over the Cowboys, 19-16. Cooper Rush, 7 of 13, 89 yards. Garrett Gilbert, 7 of 18, 80 yards. And Ben DiNucci, 6 of 14, 46 yards and a touchdown. Chris Streveler, 12 of 24, 107 yards. And Colt McCoy, 6 of 7, 69 yards. Saturday, Bears over the Dolphins, 20-13. Justin Fields, 14 of 20, 142 yards and a touchdown. Andy Dalton, 2 of 4, 18 yards. Nick Foles, 1 of 3, 8 yards. Tua Tagovailoa, 8 of 11, 99 yards and a pick. Jacoby Brissett, 6 of 10, 67 yards and a touchdown pass. And Reed Sinnett, 6 of 10, 51 yards. Broncos over the Vikings, 33-6. Drew Lock, 5 of 7, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater, 7 of 8, 71 yards and a touchdown. And Brett Rypien, 2 of 7, 24 yards. Kellen Mond, 6 of 16, 53 yards. And Jake Browning, 5 of 10, 31 yards. Browns over the Jaguars, 23-13. Kyle Lauletta, 19 of 27, 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Case Keenum, 12 of 17, 115 yards. C.J. Beathard, 13 of 16, 102 yards and a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, 6 of 9, 71 yards. Jake Luton, 8 of 13, 53 yards and a touchdown. And Gardner Minshew, 4 of 8, 47 yards. Ravens over the Saints, 17-14. Trace McSorley, 11 of 18, 86 yards and a pick. And Tyler Huntley, 12 of 16, 79 yards. Ian Book, 9 of 16, 126 yards and a pick. Jameis Winston, 7 of 12, 96 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And Taysom Hill, 8 of 12, 81 yards and a pick. Jets over the Giants, 12-7. Zach Wilson, 6 of 9, 63 yards. Mike White, 13 of 19, 127 yards. And James Morgan, 5 of 9, 45 yards. Clayton Thorson, 5 of 16, 72 yards and a touchdown. Mike Lennon, 3 of 7, 20 yards. Bengals over the Bucks, 19-14. Kyle Shermer, 12 of 19, 108 yards and a pick. And Brandon Allen, 7 of 10, 77 yards and a pick. Tom Brady, 1 of 12, 9. Kyle Trask, 4 of 15, 35 yards. Ryan Griffin, I thought it said Robert Griffin III. That's my mistake. 6 of 11, 47 yards and 2 picks. And Blaine Gabbert, 6 of 11, 64 yards. Texans over the Packers, 26-7. Davis Mills, 11 of 22, 212 yards and a pick. Tyrod Taylor, 4 of 4 of 40 yards. And Jeff Driscoll, 1 of 6 of 2. Jordan Love, 12 of 17, 122 yards and a touchdown. And Kurt Benkert, 8 of 12, 88 yards. Chiefs over the 49ers, 19-16. Patrick Mahomes, 1 of 2 of 4 yards. Chad Henne, 6'9", 37 yards. Shane Buechele, 8 of 11, 76 yards. And Anthony Gordon, 11 of 17, 79 yards. Jimmy Garoppolo, 3 for 3, 26 yards. Trey Lance, 5 of 14, 128 yards and a touchdown. And Josh Rosen, 10 of 15, 93 yards and a pick. Raiders over the Seahawks, 20-7. Nate Peterman played the whole game. Unbelievable. 29 of 39, 246 yards in the pick. And on Seattle side, Alex McGough, 6 of 10, 54 yards in the touchdown. Geno Smith, 4 of 10, 46 yards. And Sean Mannion, 7 of 11, 34 yards. Chargers over the Rams, 13-6. Chase Daniel, 15 of 24, 104 yards. And Easton Stick, 7 of 7, 63 yards. And on the other side, Delvin Hodges, 11 of 19, 85 yards and a pick. And Bryce Perkins, 7 of 10, 42 yards. And on Sunday, the Colts over the Panthers, 21-18. Jacob Eason, 15 of 21, 183 yards. Sam Ehlinger, 10 of 15, 155 yards and a pick. Will Greer, 6 of 10, 31 yards. And P.J. Walker, 10 of 21, 161 yards and a touchdown. All right, now we'll do NBA Summer League. We will go over the results from the weekend, and we will look ahead to tonight. Timberwolves over the Bucks, 91-64. Jazz over the Heat, 84-65. Pelicans over the Cavs, 87-74. Warriors over the Thunder, 94-84. Pistons over the Knicks, 93-87. Kings over the Grizzlies, 90-75. Lakers over the Clippers, 86-84. Saturday, Nuggets over the Mavericks, 89-85 in overtime. Hawks over the Heat, 94-90. Celtics over the Sixers, 180. Pacers over the Thunder, 95-61. Raptors over the Hornets, 80-79. Knicks over the Cavaliers, 103-94. Suns over the Blazers, 79-70. Pistons over the Lakers, 103-88. Sunday, Kings over the Mavericks, 86-70. Wizards over the Bucks, 93-83. Clippers over the Jazz, 94-90. Nets over the Spurs, 104-100. Timberwolves over the 76ers, 99-96 in overtime. Magic over the Rockets, 89-76. Pelicans over the Warriors, 80-79 in overtime. And the Grizzlies over the Bulls, 96-91. And now today's the last day for Summer League for some of these teams. At 3 o'clock, you have the Pacers and the Wizards. 4 o'clock on ESPN News, the Bucks and the Nuggets. 5 o'clock, the Spurs and the Thunder. 6 o'clock, ESPN2, the Cavs and the Suns. So, Evan Mobley. 7 o'clock, the Hawks and the Knicks. 8 o'clock, ESPN2, the Pistons and the Magic. So, you got Cade Cunningham against Jalen Suggs. 9 o'clock, you have the Grizzlies and the Clippers. And 10 o'clock on ESPN2, you have the Hornets and the Bulls. And then the last day of the Summer League is on Tuesday, so they're not having that tournament like they usually would. All right, WNBA. We will go over the results from the weekend, and there wasn't that many games either. It was all on Sunday. The Sky over the Storm, 87-85 in overtime. The Sky are 11-10. Seattle 16-6. Sun over the Wings, 80-59. The Sun 15-6. Dallas 9-13. Aces over the Mystics, 84-83. The Aces 16-6. Washington 8-11. The Dream over the Mercury, or vice versa. The Mercury over the Dream, 92-81. The Mercury 10-10. Atlanta 6-14. Lynx over the Liberty, 88-78. The Lynx 13-7, Liberty 10-12, and the Sparks over the Fever 75-70. The Sparks 7-13, Indiana 4-17. All right, there are no games until Tuesday, so we're preview and pick Tuesday's games on tomorrow's podcast. All right, MLS. We will go over the results from the weekend as well, and there are no games until Tuesday. Friday, San Jose and Vancouver 0-0 draw. Saturday, LA Galaxy over Minnesota 1-0. Club Football Montreal over the Red Bulls 2-1. NYCFC over Miami 2-0. New England over Toronto 2-1. Kansas City over Dallas 2-0. Colorado over Houston 3-1. Salt Lake over Austin 1-0. And then yesterday, Atlanta over LAFC 1-0. Chicago over Columbus 1-0. Nashville over DC United 5-2. And Seattle over Portland 6-2. And again, no games until Tuesday night. So we will preview and pick those games on tomorrow's podcast. Alrighty, now we'll move on to the Wyndham Championship and go over those results. So, without further ado, here we go. And your winner of the Wyndham Championship was yet again decided in a playoff. And the winner of this tournament was Kevin Kisner. There's a huge six-way tie at the top. And it was a playoff. And he came out on top with a playoff score of 7 and a score of 15 under. And then the other playoff scores, Roger Sloan with a 4, Adam Scott with the 4, Kevin Na with an 8, Siwoo Kim with the 4, and Brandon Grace with an 8. Tied for 7th with 14 under, Kevin Stroman, Webb Simpson, and Ryan Henley. Tied for 10th with 13 under, Brendan Todd, Rory Sabatini, Justin Rose, Nate Taylor, Adam Hadwin. Tied for 15th with 12 under, Brock Stewart, Brian Stewart, Sepp Straka, Sunghoon Kang, Jonathan Vegas, Chesson Headley, Dylan McCarthy, Henry Higgs, and Scott Piercy. Tied for 24th with 11 under, Kyon Hoon Lee, Sunjae Im, Russell Knox, Jason Duffner, and Ben Taylor. Tied for 29th with 10 under, Walter Zalatoris, Sebastian Munoz, Chris Kirk, Matt Kuchar, Cheng Sung Pan, and Alex Smalley. Tied for 35th with 9 under, Sam Ryder and Bang Honan. Tied for 37th with 8 under, Mackenzie Hughes, Cam Percy, Keradek Opernaut, Richie Wierenski, John Augustine, David Lingmerth, Evan Van Rooyen, Hudson Swafford, and Austin Eckroat. Tied for 46 with 7 under, Camilo Vegas, Bubba Watson, Kevin Tway, Aaron Weiss, and Anirban Lahiri. Tied for 51st with 6 under, Adam Landry, Bryce Garnett, Mark Hubbard, and Brian Gay. Tied for 55th with 5 under, Kevin Mitchell and Johnson Wagner. Tied for 57th with 4 under, Tyler Duncan, Harold Varner III, and Mark Anderson. Tied for 60th with 3 under, Seamus Power and Bronson Burgoon. Tied for 62nd with 2 under, Rob Oppenheim, John Hamm, and Nelson Ledesma. Tied for 65th with 1 under, Tommy Fleetwood, Michael Giglick, Michael Kim, Bu Hostler, and Robert McIntyre. Tied for 70th at even, Matt Jones, Ben Martin, and Chris Baker. All right, notables that were cut. Will Gordon, Doc Redmond, Gary Woodland, Dylan Fratelli, Matt Neesmith, Adam Schenk, Jim Herman, JT Potson, Kyle Stanley, Adam Putnam, Kyungju Choi, Luke List, Lucas Donald, Taylor Gooch, Lucas Griffin, JJ Spawn, Bo Van Pelt, DJ Tran, Zach Johnson, Francesco Molinari, Cesar V, Mito Piera, Ricky Fowler. But yeah, a bunch of big names cut. Charles Schwartzel. Alrighty, NASCAR time. We will recap the weekend's races from Indianapolis. And we'll start with the Xfinity results. And your winner was Austin Cindric. Second, AJ Allmendinger. Third, Justin Haley. Fourth, Chase Elliott. Fifth, Noah Gragson. Sixth, Austin Dillon. Seventh, Matt Snyder. Eighth, Riley Herbst. Ninth, Harrison Burton. 10th, Andy Lawley. The rest, Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick, Alex Labb, Jeremy Clements, Josh Williams, Kyle Weatherman, Landon Castle, James Davison, Ty Gibbs, Jade Buford, Tommy Joe Martins, JJ Yelly, Jed Burton, Spencer Pumpelly, Josh Belicki, Sage Karam, Sam Meyer, Will Rogers, Austin Hill, Chris Wright, Brett Moffitt, Ryan Sieg, Kevin Harvick, Brandon Brown, Preston Padgett, and Brandon Jones. And then the Cup results from Indy. And your winner of that race was A.J. Allmendinger. Second, Ryan Blaney. Third, Kyle Larson. Fourth, Chase Elliott. Fifth, Matt DiBenedetto. Sixth, Kurt Busch. Seventh, Eric Jones. Eighth, Justin Haley. Ninth, Austin Cindric. 10th, Ryan Newman. The rest, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Corey LaJoie, Alex Bowman, Josh Belicki, Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, Quinn Houff, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe, Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, Ross Chasen, Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon, James Davison, William Byron, Joey Logano, Ryan Preece, Chris Bell, Daniel Suarez, Anthony Alfredo, Andy Lawley, and Cody Ware. Alrighty. Now we'll do news and notes. There's a lot to get to from the weekend. Something fun. A Wagner card sold for $6.6 million. The iconic House Wagner T206 card breaks record for most expensive sports card ever sold. So that's some history there. Trevor Bauer expected to be in court on Monday for a civil hearing to answer a women's petition for a restraining order against him. So we'll see how that goes. Some exciting news. Brianna Stewart is now a mom. Her and wife Marta Zarjay welcomed a baby into the world via surrogacy. And so it looks like the surrogate had the child, and now Brianna Stewart is a mom. So congratulations to Brianna Stewart. The Clippers acquire Eric Bledsoe from the Memphis Grizzlies for Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, and Daniel Oturu. I don't like this trade for the Clippers. I just don't. Him and Reggie Jackson are weirdly similar players. Like, one of them's going to be starting, the other's going to come off the bench. I'd rather have Beverley and Rondo. In terms of, like, defense and tenacity. If you ask me what duo I'd rather have Beverley and Rondo. Those guys are really going to help the Grizzlies. And if that's assuming that both of them stay there, I think there's a chance that Rondo gets bought out or something and goes to another team. Maybe he ends up on the Lakers for what we know. The Hornets love LiAngelo Ball. Charlotte's front office is impressed with Gel's performance as he aims to earn an NBA or G League roster spot. Something very sad. There is an earthquake in Haiti, and the death toll soared to nearly 1,300, which is very, very sad. So thoughts and prayers to everybody involved in this and their families. It's just awful. The San Diego Padres are interested in Jake Arrieta after being released by the Cubs. So we'll see who ends up signing Arrieta to help them throughout the stretch run. Brandon Crawford gets a 2-year, $32 million extension. He's having a great year this year, so the Giants are paying him for it and for past performance as well. But I don't think Brandon Crawford's all that great. I just think that this Giants team, I got to give credit where credit's due. A lot of these guys are having throwback seasons. But 2 years, $32 million is fair. Some Stanley Cup stuff. Alex Killorn took it to Montreal and made a stop outside the Bell Center on his way, or on his day with Lord Stanley to grab a pitcher. And Matthew Joseph puts Poteen in the Stanley Cup. So that was very, very interesting and very predictable too. Just coming down now, speaking of hockey, Juicy Saros gets a 4-year, $5 million a year extension. That's well deserved for Juicy Saros. We talked about Tristan McKenzie being perfect through 7 innings. He gave up the hit on a single by Harold Castro. Tyler Gilbert threw a no-hitter on Saturday night against the Padres. We forgot to talk about that going over that game. And that was really cool to see. It was his first MLB start. He had a couple relief outings, and this was his first MLB start, and Bishop a no-hitter against the Padres, which was really, really cool to see. Bryce Harper had a Little League home run as everything went wrong for the Reds. Chris Sale had a nice return for the Red Sox. And there's more allegations against Bauer. A WAPO article says a woman filed for temporary protection order against Bauer in 2020 after alleged text threats. So this is getting worse and worse. There's a laser pointer at the Dodgers-Mets game. And it was flashed in the faces of multiple players. Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, and David Bakhtiari took to Instagram to urge the team to bring back Clay Matthews. And GM Brian Gutkins says that the team had no discussions about signing or bringing back Clay. All right, so Fernando Tatis came back yesterday for the Padres. George Springer left the game on Saturday with a leg injury, attempting to make a catch. Javi Baez to the injured list with back spasms. Jacob deGrom shut down for 2 more weeks, although he is slightly improving, but will not throw for another 2 weeks. A big injury from the weekend in tennis. Roger Federer announces that he'll be out many months and won't play in the U.S. Open. I want to give myself a glimmer of hope to return, he says. Gary Sanchez nearing Yankees return and could play Tuesday against the Red Sox. So they're getting Garrett Cole back tonight, Jordan Montgomery back Tuesday, and Gary Sanchez back Tuesday. So that is, with all the winning that the Yankees have done without some of their big-time players, they're getting some big-time players back. So it's only going to get better for the Yankees with their players coming back. Giants linebacker T.J. Brunson tore his left ACL, and safety Joshua Kalu tore his pectoral muscle. So 2 injuries on defense for the Giants. Austin Matthews has surgery on his wrist. Recovery time will be minimum 6 weeks. Dak Prescott could play in the preseason as he hopes to play in the final preseason games after he had no issues about throwing in pregame last night. And the Cowboys are not worried about him either. The ACC, the Big Ten, the Pac-12 talk alliance, and they're engaging in high-level discussions about an alliance. And I missed this. Jalen Suggs out for the rest of the summer league out of precaution with a sprained thumb. So it looks like it's going to be Cade Cunningham against Franz Wagner. Lance Stevenson trying for an NBA return. Nets, Bucks, Nuggets, and 76ers among teams expected to attend the workout. The Panthers signed Joe Thornton on a 1-year deal. And the last one's a big one. Mark Stein dropped news Saturday night that the NBA regular season schedule is expected to be released within the next couple of days. So, Saturday it said within the next 7 to 10 days. So now we're looking at within the next 5 to 8 days. So keep an eye on that. I'll probably do a show predicting the schedule and some highlights and whatnot. Maybe Wednesday I'm looking at as a possible date for a prediction show for the schedule. All right. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to lay 1 unit on what I feel is the best bet on the board. It has to be in Major League Baseball because there's nowhere else to go. So let's go with, I like the over 8.5 between Atlanta and Miami. I'm going to make that my best bet of the day. I just think that neither of those pitchers have been particularly great this year, and I could see the Marlins bullpen giving up some runs. It's going to be over 8.5 between the Braves and the Marlins for my best bet of the day. All right, that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from baseball and looking ahead to tomorrow's games and looking ahead to tomorrow's games in the WNBA and MLS, and obviously we'll do NBA Summer League too. News and notes and best bets. So a little bit of a lighter show tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.